boss of MI5, Ken McCallum, says there are now tens of thousands of companies in this country under siege from China as they try to steal all of our industrial secrets. This will come as no surprise to Sir Iain Duncan Smith, Conservative Member of Parliament for Chingford and Woodford Green, and of course former Conservative Party leader. Iain, you've kind of been telling us this for the last few years.
Yeah, no, it's no surprise at all to me. Our desire to get closer to China is a disaster. And the reality is that all China wants from us is the stuff that they can't get back in China, which is technology and our secrets. Our connection to the US is very important. They've completely and utterly made British universities almost completely dependent on Chinese money, so that now they don't know what to do if there aren't Chinese students coming in, because they pay very high fees. We see Chinese students, many of them coming from universities that we know educate the security services back in China, who end up sometimes on defense contracts here as postgrad students. So, you know, we have been very slack here, and the security services literally have been frustrated about this because politicians now refuse to call, or the government refuses to call China as a threat. They call it an epoch-defining challenge, which is just bizarre, really.
So effectively, Iain, Chinese students coming into Britain and then staying, that's the way that China gets its spies into our country. That's what you're saying.
Well, it's part of the way. There's lots of other ways they do it. The Confucius Institute should have been banned. We were told they were going to be banned. They're not banned. They offer up free services on culture and language to universities. Some universities take them on, and they seem to end up spending their time mostly spying on Chinese students to make sure they don't do the wrong thing or get too close to British students. So many, particularly the Hong Kong students, feel very fearful of it, and they drive them out of the debates. It's really appalling. So all round, you've got Chinese people in these companies. You've seen huge efforts to buy up British companies, British technology, not just us, by the way, across Europe. America's been faster on the draw on this. They banned a lot of this. We were very slow to take that up. We have the powers now, but we are very reluctant, it appears to me, to upset the Chinese government in any shape or form, which is mad, really, because at the end of it all, and I was going to make this point because you had a very interesting interview I was watching just now with the representative of the Palestinian Authorities, who, by the way, said she couldn't give an opinion because she wasn't here for herself, and then promptly gave a very strong opinion at the end. So it struck me as rather bizarre, that, but okay. But the main point is that China is also heavily connected, and I believe creating a thing called an axis of authoritarian states. North Korea, China, Russia, Iran, Syria now involved in it. And Iran is up to their eyeballs in the terrible attack that took place last week, deliberately to smash any rapprochement with Saudi. And Saudi has now had a rapprochement with Iran. So, you can see whose hand is in all of this.
I know. And China brokering that rapprochement, extraordinary. Final thought on this. We've criticised Rishi Sunak before from kind of backtracking from the words he used when he ran from being Conservative leader to softening them. Where does Labour stand on China?
Good question. I'm not altogether certain. I've got very good colleagues in the Labour Party who are part of the Inter-Parliamentary Alliance on China, which I set up. Now got 32 countries, by the way, from Japan to the USA, all concerned about the rise of China and the power of China and the negative attitudes that China takes. So everyone concerned about that. Lots of people in the Labour Party are very concerned, and members of IPAC. But I don't know for certain exactly where the Labour Party hierarchy stands on this.
No. Well, that's a question we're going to ask them. Sir Iain, as ever, thank you for joining us on the programme. Shocking, I'm afraid, but predictable.